And I hope your listeners, your viewers, definitely they listen, they view, and they go back. It should become a Swadesh story for them. They go
Yeah,
back to their own
yeah, yeah.
cities and then do something about it, rather
True,
than
true.
sitting and
Yeah,
cribbing like I want to do something, and doing
yeah,
something online. No, no, no.
yeah,
You have to be there. It took some time for me to decide whether I need to join some NGO. I said, no, I don't want to join some kind of an NGO. Let me do, first of all, something by my own.
true,
Right. So
true.
that is what the advice I would give
Yeah,
to anyone who wants to open up. You should have passion to work in a tier two and tier three cities, because everywhere you will have challenges. So
yeah.
I'm loving my job.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Curiosulus Chronicles Podcast. This is your host, Rohit Gautam, and I am back with this week's episode with a very special guest. I have known him for 25 years, or probably more than 25 years. His name is Ritesh Jain, and he actually owns a infotech company back in India now, in Tier 2 city. I wanted to invite him to share his story. What does it feel like to be an inclusive leader and have a local impact in Indian tier 2, tier 3 cities where the opportunities are quite less? How he built up his company and what impact it's having in the ecosystem. Before we start, I would like to thank Abhida Global Eco Circle for their continuous support. If you are looking to get into professional coaching, please do check out their upcoming programs. I will put the link in the description. So without a further ado, let's start this episode. Welcome, Ritesh. Welcome to Curiosulus Chronicles Podcast.
Thank you very much, Rohit.
Thanks for coming into this space to discuss about inclusivity and the local impact in tier 2, tier 3 cities in India, especially inclusive leadership. And we have
Yeah,
known each other for 25 years now, I think, probably more than
yeah,
25 years. So,
absolutely.
and I would like to, before I start, I would like to pay special gratitude to you for teaching us when we started the whole thing about programming and everything. I was talking to my friend and telling you, so I am first time I am basically interviewing my mentor, my first teacher, when I started learning about programming. So thanks very much for coming into this space.
Rohit, there are so many first time things for you, and similarly, it goes for me also. This is also my first podcast. So I'm
Mm.
pretty happy that you are organizing the same. So yes, if we go back many, many years, still you look the same and I look the same.
Oh, thank you very much, thank you very much. That made my day, actually. That made my weekend. Yeah. So obviously, I know you very well, Ritesh. So I would like you to introduce yourself, please, if you can, about where you are now at the moment.
Okay, see, Rohit, I have to really go back to the memory lane. And the first thing which I remember by going into the memory lane, this is my 29th year as IT consultant or as IT trainer or probably as IT mentor, whatever you call it as. And I started from a very, very small organization in a very small city in Punjab. That was my first job as an IT trainer, I would say. And slowly and gradually, I picked up from there. And then I joined Oracle. So, Oracle, I have serviced almost for 6 years. And then that was the time, and it was in Hyderabad. As you know, that now Hyderabad comes in Telangana, but
Yeah.
those days
Yeah.
it was in Andhra Pradesh. So after spending 6 years, something which was really hitting me that I have studied from somewhere else, I'm working somewhere else, and that way I was not actually returning back to the society from where I was coming from. As you know, that my city is Ambala, which is one of the tier two cities, you can call it as, in Haryana state, which is adjoining to Punjab state as well as Himachal, right? So coming back here with the motive that yes, I have done enough in my services, and now I want to go back as a businessman, right? And not as a regular business, but as a kind of a professional in terms of which will offer self-employment for myself, and then also creating more jobs to that kind of youth which are not introduced to the big cities and as well they do not have much opportunities within the tier 2 cities, kind of a thing, because they do not know how to approach outside, where to go, and all those things. So keeping that particular thing in my mind, I came back and I started my first venture by the name called Sar Infotech in India from Ambala. And this organization is still on because we are very much preferred vendor for Oracle University, Oracle India Development Center, and this particular organization completely dedicated to Oracle. So we work only on Oracle technologies, and we work only for Oracle Corp, I would say that way. And this venture started in 2024, 2004, and we are in 2024. So I started my another venture by the name called Siriam Infotech Private Limited. A lot of people were asking me to, come down to the metro cities, because you know that being in a metro, more opportunities,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
More number of resources. But then my only motivation was that no, I have to do something for the society locally. So I opened up my private limited organization in 2021, and that too in Ambala. So this is where I am.
Amazing, amazing. A great journey actually. And I've seen you actually grow from
Yeah.
where you were, and then, for the past 25 years. This is why main reason is to invite you. This podcast was to talk about that inclusive leadership, and especially the local impact you are having in tier 2 cities like Ambala in India.
Mhm.
So Ritesh, what does inclusive leadership mean to you, especially in the context of, operating a tech company in tier 2 city?
You would laugh if I tell you what do I understand by this term, because I am not very much comfortable with the terminologies which we are using these days. When you say inclusive leadership, what exactly it means, I really don't do not understand. Of course, if we talk about dictionary meaning, I do understand that. But the point is, leadership is simply leadership. So when you are a captain, right? When there's a ship, there's a vessel in your hands. When you're driving, when you're sailing that particular vessel, you need to know everything about that particular vessel. You need to know every individual, every resource which is there on your ship. And definitely, you also need to understand the problems which probably you can foresee since you are in sea. And there would be probably some problems which are unseen. You definitely, and they could be much, much bigger than what you can probably have up till now worked on. So for me, leadership, it starts with friendship. That is what how I look at it. And being in a local market, first of all, because when I came here, people till date, you will surprised to know that there are many people who still do not understand what exactly I'm doing. The reason being is because most of our work goes online these days, and I do not know, because sometimes when you say blessings in disguise, and that's what happened in Corona time, because before Corona we were traveling, like me, my team, we were traveling like hell. But after Corona, since everything became online for me especially and my team, and then we spent more time locally, although the motive was that yes, I'm going back and I'm going to work for my a local uh, youth over there. But then once you go back into your business, you forget about all other things because you are focusing more on business. But slowly and gradually, in that Corona time, I would say in 2020, many things changed. And when it comes down to the leadership, my only concern within my team is that I am not concentrating especially on the youth which belongs to my city, which is Ambala. I am also concentrating on many other tier 2 cities which are in different states of India. For example, I have people from Punjab, from Ludhiana, the city you come from. And then the second place probably comes, you might not even have heard of that particular place. It comes from Uttar Pradesh, Sultanpur. Then very less number of people are aware of this particular place. Then I have got people who come from Assam, smaller cities. I have people from Uttarakhand. I have people from Himachal. I have people from Delhi. If you say, okay, I'm concentrating only on these tier two, the only thing is that being a businessman in a tier two, you really have to keep your eyes very, very open, because you can't keep your team just getting the people from the local community, right? But also you need to find people from the major cities as well. So I have got my teammates, my employees who come from Delhi, who come from Mumbai, who comes from Bangalore. So being in Ambala, right, the best thing which I could do was to do this national integrity. So I have not people from all 28 states from India, but I definitely have got something from South, something from East, something from West, something from northern part of India, right? Or something from Northeast also. So for me, being in a leader, if I consider myself as a leader, or as I told you that friendship is something which is very, very important. So you got to play with your team very, very closely. So in my team, most of the time, most of the people are hired initially, stating that yes, it's a smaller organization, but here we work as a family. So being a leader, again, I would say when you talk about inclusive leadership. So for me, the inclusive leadership is that it's not a business. When it comes down to business, I mean to say when you're dealing with your clients, when you're dealing with vendors, it is different. But when you're dealing with your employees, when you're dealing with your resources who are sitting from the different part of the country, right? So you got to make sure they gel well, right? And since they come from different cultures, they come from different educational backgrounds, they
True.
come with
Yeah.
from different society, they come
Yeah.
from different mindset.
Yeah.
So when they all work together, when we all come in a team, you come, I will definitely bring you sometimes in my meetings when these are official meetings, but people are talking too many things in that single meeting. So that means as a leader, I'm able to provide them that kind of environment where everyone can sit together, everyone can discuss anything under the sun, right? And then they are exchanging the things. So for me as a leader, I have to provide that kind of platform first, right? And that is what I think I have done enough in my team. Because and also they are not a kind of people who are from single religious background, as you know, in
Yeah.
India
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah.
that religious background also becomes very, very important. So
Very.
for
Yeah.
me as a leader, yes, I have to ensure that yes, this particular guy comes from one Hindu background, comes from Muslim background. Since I'm a Jain, then there are different flavors in in my company itself. And thankfully, I would definitely say thanks to God that all these people are gelling very well, because we travel a lot. For Oracle, of course, as I told you about Corona, after Corona, many things have changed. But before Corona, we have worked almost in 25 countries, and especially the Southeast Asia. We have traveled a lot. So that particular culture also I am bringing to Ambala. I hope you are understanding my point that when
Yeah.
I'm bringing
Yeah.
it to Ambala,
Yeah.
so I am opening up their horizons also. I'm opening up their vision also. And also, since in my team we have people from metro cities as well. So in a meeting, we definitely discuss all those things as well. So for me, when it comes down to inclusive leadership, I just have to make sure their good being, whether it is related to their culture, whether it is related to their job, whether it is related to their religion, whether it is related to the kind of things which they want to do back in their community. And I do not know whether this particular thing is under the kind of question which you have asked me, but my motive over here is as a leader, I would say I do not want them to leave from tier 2, tier 3 city and go back to tier 1 city. Because see, the thing is that I'm bringing some money to my local city. Obviously, I would spend that particular money over here. And then when I'm paying the salary to my employees, and that particular salary is going back to their city. So obviously, they would also be able to do something over there in whatever limited capacity they can do, or they can return back to the society. So I always, whenever I hire an employee from a smaller city, I would always ask one question: are you looking to, go out from your city? Right. So that is the very first question, because I just want them to be there. Since if everyone goes to the metro cities, bigger cities, probably these cities will absolutely be empty. So I do not want that kind of thing to happen. So in my case, whatever bit I can offer through my employees, this is what I try to do.
Mm. Brilliant.
So I
Brilliant.
don't
So
know whether I have
yeah.
answered your question or not, but
Yeah.
this is what a
Yeah.
leader is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
That make sure that whosoever is wherever, they should be there, return back whatever they can in their own capacity,
Mm.
and grow. That is also very, very important. Not as
Mm.
a human, but as a businessman, as an employee, or as
Mm.
an individual,
Mm.
definitely you grow.
Mm.
So that is what I think it as. That inclusive leadership is not dictatorship. You take them together, consider them partner rather than employee, take their feedback, take their criticism, and then make sure that everyone grows together.
Mm. No, right, right. So what I gathered was that you created the environment of inclusivity rather than, the leadership is all about creating the environment where your employees can thrive, employees can say what they want to say, they can share their thoughts, right, and freely, and not being judged, basically. And I can hear.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
see, the
Yeah.
thing is that for them to work, what is the most important thing? People would always say, if I'm being paid heavily, I'll be happily working. That is the common statement. So for me, the most important thing is if you're happy, then you are working. So happiness cannot be counted or calculated on the basis of how much salary I'm paying them.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
just
Yeah.
making sure that they are happy, because if a person is happy, they will work.
Yes, true, true. And I can see, the core value of your leadership and core value of your company organization is friendship. So, and then you have
Yeah.
diversity as well in there. So I'm quite curious then, what unique perspective as a leader you have gained by leading teams from diverse backgrounds, from a lot of cities.
No, I didn't get your question.
So
Could you be more clear
yeah.
about it?
So what unique perspectives have you gained? What learnings have you gained from, leading the teams from diverse background? What's different?
A lot,
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot, a lot. See, the point over here is that one point I missed out, that especially people I have seen from UP, who come from a smaller city, I would say, because still in India, how fine, we are in 21st century, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Having said that, if you go to the interior part of India, they are still, people are so much connected to their, uh, what would I say, the caste, the creed, the environment they are living in. They are not open to go out, right? And since one of my person comes from Uttarakhand, so I would make a point that I will go to his place, see how people work, see how people are connected to each other, see what kind of limitations they have in their community, and then making ensure through that particular employee that whatever way you can contribute back to them, just make see all those challenges and work on that. So this particular kind of diversity, what we have in our organization, religiously, location wise, right, area wise, community wise, it really makes you a better person. And if you are a better person, obviously you will be able to take very wise decision, and that is what I think in that way. Yes, challenges are there when you look at the things, and I wonder. See, you are in London. The first thing which, or in UK maybe. So when you are introducing myself, then you are talking about, you are remembering the kind of relationship we had 30 years back or 25 years back, right? So this is how most of the Indians will be connected. So when you go to the villages, and today if you see the kind of things are happening in youth, most of them, they are not ready to work, they want easy money. So within an organization, when I go and meet my employees at their respective cities, I try to meet this particular youth. I try to understand what kind of challenges they have, what kind of challenges not this youth, but also the parents probably would have, right? So meeting these guys and then coming back, discussing the issues with my colleagues, discussing the issues in an open area, in an open meeting, and taking the feedback how a metro person thinks about those things. And sometimes I wonder, metro people, they say, no, this is not possible. How come in 21st century this particular thing can happen, right? They have communication skill challenges. That is the biggest challenge. See,
Yeah.
if anyone joins any organization, the first and topmost things which would be considered as how you're communicating, as an individual, related to your work and other than your work. So that is the biggest challenge I have seen. So the only thing which I could offer within my organization, ensuring that these people, when they go back, they return to the society, making people understand, and the youth in schools or in colleges, that communication is the key. So how well versed you are with technology or whatever respective area you are working in, you really have to be very, very good in communication skills. So communication skills, communicating with them first of all, is itself is a challenge, right? And then
True.
since they are so much connected with their roots, something if you ask them to change, it takes months and sometimes year for them to make that kind of changes. And then there is a huge difference. You forgot about internet connectivity, you forgot about Facebooks, you forgot about mobiles. All those things are there, but still, talking about the mindset of a guy who comes from a village and the guy who comes from a city, because I have amalgamation of people like that, people who are coming from the villages and cities and then metro cities. So the thought process is very, very different, but it makes me a better person to handle the team and ensuring that yes, all these people are supposed to work together. So what I need to communicate, how do I need to communicate, what kind of language I'm supposed to use. So those are the challenges I face. But at the same time, I find it at times quite entertaining as well, right? Because they are challenging me as a leader. That boss, this is my situation. You let me know how would I deal. So one person is saying this is not a problem. The second person is saying this is a very big problem for me, right? So I think that is the only challenge as of now I have faced. So I'm working on all those things along with my colleagues, that make sure that people who come from village, they should not feel that, they are very down, and people who come from the metro cities, they should not feel that like they are boss, right? We are same here. The only difference between you and me is the skill set I have. That's it.
Yeah, very true. I think you basically properly said this, right? There is no difference. We all come from diverse background. We all have, the mindset where we come from, and it takes time. And I do believe you can't change anyone. You can create the environment. You can create that, like you said, friendship, the core values, and everything. You can create that environment for people can change themselves. They can learn from it. So that got me thinking. Then if I want to start a new business in tier 2 city, right, as a leader, what advice would you give to someone who's coming up and want to build something, and
Hmm.
with like you mentioned, there are a lot of challenges, right, with people have different mindset and come from different backgrounds. So what advice would you
Yes,
give to
resources
leader?
is
Yeah,
another problem. Yes.
yeah,
See,
resources as
the
well.
thing is
Yeah.
that, yes, the kind of, supposing, let's say tomorrow, if someone comes and asks me that I want to open up some kind of business in my in Ambala, for example, or tier two cities. So first of all, obviously, anyone who wants to open up a business would do some kind of basic R&D, and that basic R&D includes that how much worthy that particular business in that particular city to be opened in terms of money. But when you come down to cities like smaller cities like ours, here, the very first thing which you have to keep in your mind is that I want to do something for the city. I want to do something for the local community. That is the first priority you should have. If you do not have that, I probably would suggest you, let's not open up any business over here. So the idea is that there has to be balance. Money, definitely you will be able to earn money. But if you are thinking about money multiplied by money, multiplied by money, then probably tier two city will not be a kind of a city you need to start your business over here. So first of all, you need to have a passion to return it back to the society. That is number one. Number two, will I be able to get enough number of resources, the kind of work I want to do here, the kind of business I want to do here? Fine, I do not have the resources. Do I have the skill set to prepare that kind of resource which I need? Because if you try to do that, then obviously there'll be more, people you will be able to more kind of resources you will be able to create in that particular city for your business, right? And then obviously more job opportunities you will be creating. If that is the mindset you have, rather than profits in terms of money, right, I don't think you will be able to do that kind of business in a tier 2 or tier 3 city. That is very, very clear. Your objectives needs to be very clear. Here the objective for me is not the money, because from where I would get the resources. See, money for everyone is important, profit for everyone is important, but there is no end to it. How much I want, there is no end to it. So if you get today X amount, tomorrow you want Y, then you want Z, then you want to start from A, B, C, D. So I'm not considering those things that way. Then probably I would see what is the returning thing I want to go back, give back to the society. That is the whole motive. And that is the, see, challenges will be there. If you open up a business in bigger city, obviously challenges will be there. There'll be more competition out there. People will have, throat cut kind of a business over here. At least that kind of challenge you will not have over here, because you are probably coming with some kind of exclusivity, that this is probably this city has never ever seen, right? You will surprised to know there are kind of brands in Ambala these days I am seeing, which I have seen only in Mumbai. I have not seen in Delhi also. Those kind of businesses are coming up over here. So that means they are coming up keeping in mind that yes, the scope is there, right, of that kind of business out here. So I would say, although if your viewers do not know much about Ambala, but if they are Indians and still they do not know about Ambala, I want to say two things about Ambala, and probably that will change their perspective completely. It's a cantonment area, right? We are very near to Pakistan, we are very near to China, and it is called as Rafale City these days now. So we have only 5 minutes travel from Ambala to China and Ambala to Pakistan if we get a chance to sit in Rafale. So Rafale city is the new name of Ambala. So probably that kind of things has brought in a lot of things. And also very, very important, if you're doing business, take your chin up that yes, I'm doing business in Ambala. If someone asks me, where is Ambala, right? So you should be able to, in a position that yes, I'm working for Oracle. I can definitely work in Delhi. There are many vendors of Oracle in Delhi who are working with Oracle, but they do not feel any kind of proud. Oh, I'm from Delhi. But I feel a huge proud when I say I'm from Ambala. And they say, hey, where is Ambala? Oh, you do not know Ambala. This is where the Ambala is. So I am able to promote a city, a state, and my country, of course, right?
True,
So
true.
this gives a lot of pride as an Indian that yes, I'm able, and that is one of the reasons that I'm sticking to my roots. That if someone who wants, see, you find you're my friend, you are there in UK, but still you're able to find me from a foreign country, right? That okay, he's there in Ambala doing something. So that is the whole point if you want to start up any business. And you will enjoy. See, the best part of a small city is that people gel very well. You
Mm.
know
You
almost
know,
everyone.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you go with any kind of problem, you will have
Mm.
thousands of solutions for your
Yes,
business
yes,
problems even,
yeah,
right? So that is the
yeah.
biggest advantage you will have. And from here, obviously you can grow. And another very important thing about Ambala is that it's a very big science city, science equipment city, right? So most of the science equipment stuff is being exported from Ambala. So people had the choice to go to some other cities, some metro cities, but they are doing their business, sticking themselves from Ambala, right? It is the same reason I would say. So there is no limitation. My state is also offering a lot of options for the people out here. And other thing, if you see globally, I would say there are very less number of opportunities in your country. Also, a lot of unemployment in my country, of course, because we are big in population. So obviously, there'll be more number of unemployment there in India. So whenever I go to any kind of social gathering or whosoever invites me to different colleges and schools, because I'm also involved in so many social activities as well. So the very first thing I tell to the youth is that don't be dependent on jobs. So instead of seeking the jobs, right? So I have given a term JS. So don't be job seeker, just be
Okay,
JCs. So
right.
just be job creator. So when
Ah,
I say
okay.
this, so it gives them a lot of ideas, a lot of new skills, a lot of new business, right? And then by this, I'm also ensuring that they will do the business from Ambala, right? They will not go if 10 people go and if only 2 people stick back and then they flourish, nothing like that,
True,
right? So
true.
that is what the advice I would give
Yeah,
to anyone who wants to open up. You should have passion to work in a tier 2 and tier 3 cities, because everywhere you will have challenges. So
yep,
I'm loving my job.
yeah, yep, yeah, true. And we're always learning, right, as we go along. So, Ritesh, in your view, then, what is the main responsibility of a business leader in tier two city towards the community they operate in? What is the main responsibility you think a leader should have?
Okay, see, many, because it's a tier 2 3 city, tier 2 city. So in a tier 2 city, the very first thing is that everything either in this particular thing would be not there, or if something is there, it would be less. So being a leader, being a any entrepreneur, the very first thing is that look into those areas, that yes, this is probably that area I can do something about it. For me, if you ask me personally, when I came back, my first priority was give some kind of job to the youth out here. I was little bit emotional, I would say, because at that particular time I didn't realize that I'm working for Oracle. I'm going back to my small city, and I will not find resource who know Oracle. So there are many people who that particular time didn't even aware what Oracle is all
Yeah,
about.
true. I
And
remember.
that was yeah, that was really scary time for me, that people do not know. How do I tell them what Oracle is, what Oracle does, all those things? So that was a big challenge for me. So obviously, to start with, I started working with metro city people, and then slowly and gradually I hired those people who were willing to work with me, stick with me, and then I educated them. I taught them. So in my organization, you will surprised to know how experienced you are does not matter. The very first few months, you just have to sit, relax, learn what we are doing, learn how we are doing. The quality is the topmost thing. This is I think also another advantage, I would say, working from a T2 city, because you're competing with metro city people. They have voluminous resources available to them. I have got limited number of resources. So how would I win a war if I have got less number of soldiers with me? The only way is quality. So the very first few months, what we spend on our employees is ensuring that these guys, because I'm training them in a swimming pool and I'm throwing them in a sea or in an ocean to swim. So I have to make sure to give them appropriate artillery so that they can go and they can swim, right? So that is what is the core thing out over here, that you just come and give what you have first. So what I did initially, I thought, because there, and these days, in India, there are so many NGOs, there are so many people who want to do social services, but we are not reaching anywhere. So that is the whole problem, because you're not applying your mind actually, that I am not supposed to show what I am doing. I'm supposed to ensure that I have built up a capability, and that is the guy who's going and delivering it.
Yeah.
So it took some time for me to decide whether I need to join some NGO. I said, no, I don't want to join some kind of an NGO. Let me do, first of all, something by my own. So I went to a school, which is a government school. Obviously, in India, government
Yeah.
schools are
Yeah.
not in a very good shape.
Yeah.
And what I noticed over there, obviously, uh, education style, the way the classrooms are, the way the hygiene is being followed in these schools is not up to the mark. How hard government tries, but still we are lacking a lot in that particular area, I personally believe. So when I was speaking to this youth, I also noticed they are losing a lot of social values, a lot of civic values. You will be surprised to know, you might be wondering that I have never heard anyone saying something from T2 city or T3 city, that people have lost the social values. Yes, thanks to, uh, not thanks to, I would say, but yes, the way you use the things like Facebook or other social media
Social media.
platforms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I started working on that social value which they were missing, other than teaching them English, other than teaching them some of their, a real time situation they will come across when they will go and start working. And then I started working on giving them some kind of social values as well. So wherever I go, my first thing to the youth in school or in college would be that, boss, how well you are in your skills does not matter. If you do not have ethics, it makes no sense. So that is what I started returning. So to a businessman, to an entrepreneur, if they want to closely work with the local youth, with the local community people, that is the first thing they have to ensure, that make sure that that particular company offers some kind of quality, it has some kind of value, that particular value is being passed on, right? And they ensure that people are actually adhering all those things while moving into the society. So I go to this particular college now where I'm part of, and you will surprise in my Jain community, because we have got a lot of Jain institutions out here. So they gave me a college because they consider me Sometimes education is stalled. So they say, okay, this college is going to be closed. So put Ritesh, he might be doing something. And if tomorrow this college closes, we can tell that, okay, we asked Ritesh to do something. He was not able to do it. So whatever we were doing in the past, that was correct. So when I went into the college, and it's a college where we are teaching BCA, we are teaching BBA, we are teaching MCA, we are teaching MBA. So professional courses also we are teaching, and this particular college ensures the placements. And people were not coming to my college for the placement. When I drilled in, dig in, I came to know because the communication skill of that particular the college student is not good enough. So when I came in, you will surprised to know, Rohit, that the total strength which we could take in a year was 150, and we were, I think, had 40 students in that particular college. So college running with 40 students with the money of the trust, do you really think that how for how many years it would have survived? So that was the time I realized, oh God, these guys have thrown me in an area where they wanted my name to be there
To be there.
while this particular college is getting closed. So I took it as a challenge. I started working with students. I started working with uh, teachers. I took lectures by myself. I then requested some of the companies to come and pick up my students. And this I'm talking about 3 years backstory. So to cut the story short, I'll tell you what is the current status. The current status is that this year we have refused many people, many students that we cannot enroll you in any course because we have got limited number of seats. There were 18 companies which came this year, March, and more than 200 students were hired
Got
by
placement.
different
Nice.
organizations.
Nice, nice.
And a very important point, I don't have strength of 200 students. So how come 200 students got placed? Because I connected with all nearby colleges as well. And the word of mouth was spread like such a way that even people from Chandigarh, even people from Delhi, even people from Jammu also came in for
Okay.
interviews. And
Nice. Nice.
that was such a satisfying movement, for
True.
me, that yes,
Yeah.
but it has again gone through with a journey that I've spent 3 years to reach down to this particular place. So the thing is that everything is possible. I just worked, and again, the thing is that if you come down to my college, if you come down to this place, the college I'm talking about, you go there, you will not find my name anywhere. So if you really want your society to be successful, the organization you are associated with successful, I personally believe, because I'm an Oracle student. I'm an Oracle database student, application student, ERP student. So in ERP, what we talk about is that ensure there is a process. So business is not should not be people oriented. Business should be process oriented. People will come, people will go, right? So process should remain there. System should remain there. So again, I'll go back to your first question you asked me. Uh, as a leader, this is my job, that I need to ensure that that system, that process is in place, which is not dependent on an individual, even if it is Ritesh also. So that process is going on, and college has adapted it. And we were offering only 4 courses earlier, and next year we will be offering 8 different courses. And not only that, you see, for me, again, a biggest challenge I would say is that because I'm in a small city, unless or until I have connection in metro cities, unless or until I convince people to come down to my city, educate people, it is not possible, right? So I'm really thankful even to Oracle also, because Oracle Academy is one of the division which is offering free of cost courses to college students, right? So those kind of courses I was able to bring in to my college, and I think this is only one of the college in Ambala region which is offering. Oracle University is free of cost courses, which is worldwide acceptable. That is the biggest achievement, I would say, the corporate social responsibility, which we call it as CSR. So under that particular thing, it has happened. So you just need to ensure, be in, the kind of need to have kind of amalgamation, I would say, or you shake hand with right kind of people, bring them there, because it is also social service for them as well, right? Bring them, bring them together, and they give the vision, right? Here we do not have opportunity to take our students to big or bigger cities as well, because they do not have that kind of financial resources available, right? So another company I would say, we have a common friend Hemant. His company is Red Hat company. So this company didn't have any kind of policy to bring in the freshers to show them how the MNC work. But with the help of Hemant, we were able to make sure that my college students from Ambala are able to interact with a metro in a metro city with an MNC like Red Hat, right? So that kind of associations, if you have, then nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you. So I feel as an entrepreneur, as a leader, see at the end of the day, I'm living in this environment, so I have to make sure this is my foremost responsibility, that the environment I'm living in has to be clean enough for me, good enough for me, right? And that is what I need to do as a businessman also. Good thing is that it is giving very fruitful results. So I'm pretty happy that I'm able to contribute towards societies, towards communities, toward religion also, if I call it that way, right? So everything is coming together. So it's very entertaining that way, and
Yeah,
very
yeah.
inspiring also for me to work that way.
No, it's very inspiring for listening as well. Like, anyone who's listening wants to invest in, the setting up businesses in tier two. And then they're definitely taking a lot of tips here from you, Ritesh. Unfortunately,
You
we
need to
are.
be mad to come down to tier two cities, because thing is
Yeah.
that you, at the end of the day, you always feel, oh, I could make more money. I could make more money. I would say that from here, definitely you can make
Mm,
any XYZ amount,
mm, mm,
but do not invest it outside. The
mm.
only thing is that make sure that you invest it here as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely, and have a long term impact. Like you said, you having a lot of long term impact from your leadership style on the local business ecosystem, right? A lot of changes are happening. People are looking at it. Uh, so it's been very very profound, Ritesh. Unfortunately, we are end of our time for this podcast, but it'd be amazing to dig more deeper, probably in the future episodes, right? On the business setting and everything, where the new leaders can learn how to set up a
Sure.
businesses in tier 2 tier 3 cities in India, and actually grow the whole country together. The country is not only in the metro cities, country is in tier 2 tier 3 cities as well, right? So there there are a lot of opportunities people need there, and there are a lot of talent actually, if you see that, right? But it's not been carved yet. People don't know, you got a lot
Before
of talent.
and like you
Yeah.
said that, I'll take another 1 or 2 minutes. I think
Please,
I've
please,
spoken a
yeah,
lot.
please, yeah.
But 1 or 2 more minutes, because see, the thing is that how business works, what is the basic way to ensure that business works with word of mouth. So
Mm,
in metro cities, probably you have to put a lot of hoardings, right? This is
mm,
what I am, this is what I
mm,
am, this is what I'm doing.
mm.
But here, because it's a smaller city,
Yeah,
everyone knows you,
yeah,
so they become your word of mouth. So there's a
true.
big difference putting your
Yeah,
name on the hoarding and putting your name, or your name
yeah.
is coming out from someone's mouth.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of
yeah,
difference.
yeah. Plus is the leadership style you mentioned, right? Is the culture, the environment, the processes you set up. It actually helps to let go of that word of mouth, because people are working under you. Probably they share a lot of good stories about the leadership style, about the infrastructure you have set up, about the culture you have set up. This is why it's important to understand. People not gonna change for sake of change. There's there people who can't change anyway. So it's the environment where you're setting it up, which helps shaping them in becoming where they want to go. And obviously, like you said, you're having a lot of local impact, which is wonderful to see. So thank you very much for sharing your journey and sharing your thoughts, your wisdom with us and our audience. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so very much. And I hope your listeners, your viewers, definitely they listen, they view, and They go back, it should become a Swadesh story for them. They go
Yeah.
back to their own
Yeah. Yeah.
cities and then do something about it, rather
True.
than
True.
sitting and
Yeah.
cribbing like I want to do something and doing
Yeah.
something online. No, no, no.
Yeah.
You have to be there.
Yeah, true, true. And if they want to reach out to you for getting more wisdom, to learn from you, or get your thoughts about something, how can they reach out to you?
You have my email ID, you have my phone number. I think that is the best way to reach out to me, and I'm available.
Okay, cool. I'll put it in the description then. Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Ritesh.
very much,
Thanks for
Rohit.
your time once again,
Thank you.
have a good weekend. Hopefully, we can do another
You
podcast
too,
very
man.
soon.
You too, man. You too.
So,
Thank you. Thank
okay,
you.
listeners, thank you very much for watching this episode. For the latest episode, please subscribe to this channel, and I'll be back soon with a new episode. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye for now.